Let's go. And this is the Underground. World News Live. Here on this 5/29/2026. Much love, Steely, right at the gate. Legendary with the super chat. I want to thank everyone, E Fitz, Tacos, D White, like everyone out there that shares the stream. You know who you are. Live 1707 in the house. Good to see you, my brother. Gara, John Boy, everyone out there, thank you for the feedback. Much love, Deanne, Dark Wolf, Sweet Barb in Ohio, Stanley, Gabe, Hopkinson. Yeah, man. And thank you for the coffee right before the show there, E Phase. Appreciate it to the fullest. Kenzo, in-house troublesome with us. Man, good to see everybody. We're live on Rumble, YouTube, and Facebook. For right now, I may add another one here in the coming weeks between Iraq and One Hard Place. I love the names, man. David, CP, Tiffany, Sierra. Again, greetings, everyone. J Hart. I hope all is well. We got a lot to cover here this evening. I'm going to try to do it in 2 hours, as I always try to do. Sometimes we spill over, but try to knock it out as quick as smoothly as possible here. We got some important things to talk about. You can see in the title there some disclosure, deception, some Peter Thiel going down Argentina, and some stuff connected to the U.S. military, Israeli military. We're going to look at all that. Who cares? Much love. Dabu7 at yahoo.com is the email. You can tag me like Who Cares just did in the chat. It lights it up in red, gets my attention. And I thank you again to everyone that shares, for the prayers, and for the super chats, coffees, all that's appreciated to the fullest. All right, get this show rolling. I'm going to start off here with a little space weather. And what I want to point out with this is not only is the sun littered with sunspots, I mean, like all over, we could catch an X flare or some solid activity here at any time. Anytime. But the main thing I want to point out here is that if you got a clear sky in the evening, when the sun goes down, like tonight, step outside, look west. Venus and Jupiter are converging in the twilight sky. And if you're on the west coast, you should have no obstructions if you're looking out there over the ocean. They say that this conjunction is going to get closer and closer till it has a tight conjunction on June 8th and 9th. But you're going to be able to see this little setup in the sky. I will click on this one right there. You can see where Jupiter is, Venus there, and Mercury. And they're going to come closer and closer. Sometimes when these things overlap, they can look like one big bright object in the sky. You know, all of its light coming together, which is an anomalous event. Let's go to Jeff Bezos' disaster down at Cape Canaveral. They went to launch. Got a couple different shots. One should be from a distance and the other up close. Let's see here. All right, this one from a distance. I'll zoom this in. We'll look. You can see that someone in a flight, JetBlue flight, caught this out their window. This is what it looks like from that distance. Man, the layer of life on this planet is so thin between that cloud deck and the ground. It's crazy. It's so thin. Kenzo, much love. I appreciate it to the fullest. We should have another one here. Yeah, this is the good one right here. If you guys missed it, this one, really good shot right here. Thank you, counting the day for the coffees. Look at that explosion. So, Bezos's aspirations just went up in smoke. That's like 100 million right there. Couldn't even get it off the launch pad. And they pretty much suck. Remember when Katy Perry and all those girls decided to do this little trip to space and back? That was all faked, and we busted them. There was no nothing the way it should be. When they came back in and they touched down, it was all choreographed. And as always, the videos were cutting away. And the next thing you know, they showed this thing parachuting, like it just hit the ground out in the desert, came down on a parachute. And Bezos ran up and opened the door before they put the special tool on it. And you had to put the special tool on it first, or everyone's going to know it was all show. But they screwed up. Bezos, I think another person ran up, and the door popped open. Plus, it had no burn marks. These things get torched on re-entry. And there was like none of it. But the sheep will believe. You know, the sheep will be sheep, I guess. Gotta have the eyes to see these days. None of us have all the answers. This place is, well, I agree, like with what Tesla said. It's more of a realm than anything, as far as I could tell. Um, so there is apparently a threat. There's always some kind of threat looming coming from space in a different form. They're saying that whoever gets up to that moon first is going to be able to control everything. So they're saying we've got to get up there and put a base. And Trailbreeze, thank you for gifting the memberships. Everyone that got them, welcome to the underground. But I'll believe this when I see it again with all the space stuff and everything. Look, I'm a pretty firm believer that there is a vault and there is a firmament. It's spoken about many times. And I explained the other night, if you guys missed it, the Sumerian tablets also specifically talk about a vault in our heavens, the way that this place is created. And they don't just say it, they give specific numbers, like to a T, how far it is up in the sky in space. And when you add this up and you follow it, it takes you right to the Van Allen belt. What are the odds of that? I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. I think that that's them saying, yo, we know there's a barrier there. They wrote about it. It's always there. They also said that that barrier is there separating the waters from upper waters, and that this is a realm in which the Agiki or the Ajiji are watching, or where they watch from. Rather interesting, not to be confused with watchers that came down here and that are here, fallen. But if you don't know, the Agiki or the Ajiji revolted against their masters, the Anunnaki, their makers, and said, we don't want to be slaves no more. And they didn't get wiped out. They just got moved to like a different position of use. And it's pretty crazy, the whole story. I could go on and on about that. But when I bring up the space stuff, it reminds me that I'm going to be, if I have it my way, a year from now, I'm going to try to pick up where Kart Racer, left us. If I can, in a year or so, my goal is to try to get this telescope and lock in to all these missions. I want to be able to track them from launch all the way up to the moon. There's like no excuse why we can't. But if that's not the case, you should still be able to see this thing, especially around full moons, coming up on the moon. Period. It does not matter. Now, if they all want to say they're going to the backside of the moon, it still don't matter. Like, there should be a time and all this stuff that we should be able to figure out, like when they're going to be coming up on the moon. Here recently, they told us that Artemis went up and they did this little slingshot, went up around the moon and came back. Problem is, ain't a fucking person on this planet, not a soul, caught it on film. They've got an image of them circling around the moon up there. Not one. Not one in this day and age. That's garbage. Again, it's more theatrics. Now, I know we can get up to subspace, but from what I can tell, even back to the ancients, this place is locked. And Lakeville, much love, my brother. I seen that. I didn't have a chance to holler back, man. Been busy, but I seen that email. Much love. Thank you for shooting it my way. And good to see you. All right, so they're saying there's a threat of a 2030s like space war and that control of the moon. I'm going to tell you, this is all some garbage that they're feeding you, mumbo jumbo. This place is set up a certain way. It always has been. They understand this on the back end, and they are in cahoots with the ones that are locked here with us, the fallen that have been here this entire time. It's all written. All these different ancient stories tell about it. The moon is a very interesting thing. When you go back and you look at where the names come from and you do the history, I just seen this earlier, did I not? I did. I might as well pull this up here. should I do? All right, I'm going to post something here. Trying to find a way to get this image up on the screen here, because it's important that you understand all this stuff, where it's going from here. We got a big deception, as you can see in the title. We got big deception that's in motion right now. When you look at these cats, I just want to point out a couple of things real quick. This is the top of the Anunnaki. You've got Enlil, okay, which was in control of the northern sky. Then you've got Enki, which was overseeing the southern sky, okay? And notice that the women, at least in the first bracket, it seems to change down here with Saturn, of all things, as I'm going to show you. Nin Her Sog, all these women, deities up here with them, have Nin in the beginning. The men have In. Okay? Well, not all the men are men. You got this, but all the women do, at least in that bracket. So it's a popular thing for a woman, so to speak, Nin there. Although, we're going to go to the next bracket. Enki and his partner had Marduk, which you may have heard throughout time. You may have heard stories, this and that. Marduk may have came up. He is judgment, connected to Jupiter, okay? His ruling domain. Then you've got Enlil and Ninlil. They have 2 offspring. And this is what I want to point out, because I think it's key. And what are the odds? They have Nanar, or what is called Sin. That's right. And you know what it is? It's the moon. It says it right there. And then you've got Nanurta, farming and hunting. And guess what he represents? Saturn. The same Saturn that seems to be a key player in emitting a frequency that affects this entire solar system, and including our reality. It also is written back into the ancients. You wonder why these dudes are running around with black cubes on their heads? Huh? I'll tell you why. Because it all connects back to Saturn. 1000%. You wonder why in Mecca there's a huge black cube, and they gather and they spin in rings around it, matching Saturn. It's all connected. It all goes back. I told you, these cats left. If you don't know, they packed their bags and they dipped out of here. The Anunnaki did, as the story's told, because human frequency started to kill them. It was parasitic. It's so low of a vibration. They're of a higher vibration, literally like with gold embedded within their making, and they started to deteriorate and fall apart and taste death. And they packed bags and got out of here. But before they did, they made an offspring, like hybrids that were a mix that could survive in this atmosphere and not fall apart, so to speak, like they were doing. They left those offspring here, and those were the king's list that goes all the way down to everything that you know, all the giants, all of everything it's ever said. When you read all these stories and it finally comes full circle, it's mind-blowing. And that's where I'm at with this, because I've gone down all of them, and many times, and circling back around. But then you see that all these ancient stories, not only do they talk about things like the flood and just give characters different names, but they point out certain things that you should pay attention to. So the moon is said to be an apparatus that was pulled into position. It's not from here. Towed into position and hollowed in nature. And it seems to be a mechanism that has everything to do with collecting the soul and keeping it here. And so does Saturn, big time. Now, when you look back at this, it's pretty odd here that they talk about the 7 heavenly centers, and you have to pass through these gates at death. It's pretty crazy because you see this pattern over and over that's what they've hid. That's exactly what goes on here. Even Jesus spoke on it clearly. And he talked about the archons that are there to deceive you, to turn you back. And even all these other places, the Egyptian Book of the Dead talks about people that are going to show loved ones that show up trying to give you comfort and all this. And it says, do not fall for it. Can you believe that? Over and over and over again. Even the ancient Tibetan stuff in Tibetan Book of the Dead, you know what it was made for? It was to master beating this gauntlet right after death of archons that gets you regurgitated back in here. And even Jesus spoke of it, but they stripped it out of the Bible. Can you believe that? I can believe it, but we've got the books. I tell you all the time. We've got the knowledge. It's hidden everywhere. And every single one of these places said the same thing about the archons. And there's different depictions on how the whole thing goes down, but look, before I shut this down, look at who is on the right here. Ninsun and the king of Uruk, Lugobanda, they had a son. And guess who he was? Gilgamesh. Yeah. Oh, and just remember what I told you. They packed bags and dipped because of our frequency. Now we got 8 billion people here. And they're due to be coming back. We're right on the cusp of full-blown, the whole big show. But guess what? They can't come back until our population is reduced. They can't come back and walk this planet like they once did themselves until our population is reduced. Just never forget that. You wonder why they would want to ever mass sacrifice and kill millions? Well, there you go. It's embedded right there in it. They can't even return to this atmosphere, walking on the ground, breathing the air until they reduce our numbers, because our bio frequency that we give off is parasitic to them. This is what is written. That's wild and a crazy key factor to keep in mind here. We're talking return of the gods and all this, where certain stuff can't even happen until other things happen. Just remember, they can never even touch down here until they wipe a bunch of us out. And you wonder why they want to do it? These are the same gods that asked one thing from man that they made as a slave: to bring them all the gold. And it's the one thing every government on this planet hoards, and you know it. Let that all sink in. So, the moon itself, a base, so to speak, as I see it, and as the ancients have said in many different scripture and writings, that it was towed into place. And there was even a time where there was not even a moon in the sky, as it's written. And it was towed into place. But you wouldn't know this if you don't keep up with, all these different things. If you want to say, oh, the Tibetan Book of the, if you want to say, oh, the Egyptian Book of the man, and you want to scoff at all that, well, then scoff and be an ignorance. You're supposed to be here collecting all knowledge. Chew all the meat, spit out the bone. Collect all the good from it, spit out the bad. You don't even know what you're working with until you see what you're working with. To scoff at anything and to reject it and to not know it is ignorant. You're supposed to, in the end, be all-knowing and trying to achieve all-knowingness. But what do you know about that? It's people just sit around believing that they're born in sin. You're a fragment of eternal light, is what you are. You need to remember it and wake up and start making moves with it. You have power to speak things into existence. You better start making moves with it. Get busy. Because you can do it. You can do great things. Any moment, all you gotta do is say it, believe in it, speak it. Or don't believe in it and continue to repeat things like, I can't do this, I'm sick of this, and keep speaking those things and wonder why you're always sick and tired, because you always say it. You attract what you speak. If no one ever taught you this, just go right back to your Bible. Very first things, God spoke everything into existence, and He made you in His image. You have that exact same power. Get to work. Work righteously. Remember, there's rules to this game. Even when messing with the jinn, there's rules to this game. What does Solomon learn? He can control the jinn. God said you can. He gave him a ring to do it. But you can't use them for bad. It's the whole story of Solomon, the wisest man that ever lived, as they say. Built them dang temples in Israel with the jinn, not humans. Jinn, because God said he could. Because God said he could. Because God said he could. You hearing that? So that you can control these jinn. You hear that? You know that now? Did that sink in? You can control these jinn. You have the power to do it. And you're allowed. As long as you do it for the good. This is why they twined rope, they cut brick, and they helped build the house of God, the temple of God, because it was for the good. But Solomon couldn't go waging war against his enemies with the jinn. It's forbidden. It's not allowed. And if you break the rules, you will get punished. Just go read the story of Solomon. This is a world of witches and wizards. Get with it and know it. Whether you participate or not, you better know what everything around you is and what's going on. You better. Or you can stay ignorant to it and be a pawn in their game. When you awaken to it, the spell breaks. And you should be awakening everyone around you to this. Okay. You see how it comes out of me? All right. A massive explosion rips through an apartment building in Dallas. If you guys are in Dallas or know anything about this, let me know. Nearly 100 firemen on the scene. This was a bad one here. Lucky it didn't take down the neighboring buildings there on either side, but they were on the rooftop of one, and you can see them just hitting it. It's a lot of firemen, but massive fire popping off there. We are approaching what they're calling unheard of inventory levels in terms of oil and gas. And I know all the talk was tonight, and I'm going to get to the part here in a minute, or toward the end here when I get to the war stuff. But on the economic level, everything pulled back because Trump was saying, oh, we're going in and we got a deal. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not a deal. It's all crap. And you're going to see that. The markets reacted because they always do. They always do. And if he is like really convincing with it, they'll really react. And this time he was really convincing with it. But I'm going to tell you, it's the same old crap. Even if there are things out there, it's far from a done deal. But I think Trump is trying to save face. And you're going to see that here in a minute. He has no choice but to, which means basically he's taking a loss, an L on the chin. He's trying to act like he's not. We're going to get to that here in a second. Because there's two choices. He either does what he's doing right now, or he goes in and you use military force, and that will be never ending. It'll be just like Iraq. The moment you decide to put troops on the ground. So our economy has got two paths ahead of it. And we'll play this clip because it points that out here.
Do you think that we will have a crash? We thought it was a good time to check in with Andrew Ross Sorkin, one of the country's most influential financial reporters. He's just written a book about the market crash a century ago. Are you scared?
I'm anxious that we are at prices that may not feel sustainable. We are either living through some kind of remarkable boom,
or we're reliving
1929.
Did you hear that? Most of the people out there that watch the 60 Minutes missed that. She said we're either living in some kind of remarkable boom, which you know we're not, or what did he say? Where are we at? We're in 1929. We are literally like right there. That's what she's saying. Like as we approach, you know, the 100-year mark, it's crazy because Phil Snyder also said that they were going to play the alien, the whole full scale thing with the alien deception by eliminating people. Phil Snyder also said this. This is what was nuts, that they have a plan to eliminate 3/4 of us humans. And it matches the freaking Sumerians, what they said. Imagine that. And that it's going to take place by 2029. He said this a long time ago. They're going to pull off big stuff before we get to this 2030 marker. I'm telling you. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to keep rolling. You talk about tribulation. You don't think tribulation isn't going to be a series of crazy events? Let's jump into the economic side of this. Consumers learning that organic produce costs 60% more than their conventional fruits and vegetables. Conventional? What the hell? What does conventional mean? You mean GMO? You mean bioengineered? I want you to say it because that's what it means. And the only reason people are even buying a thing called organic is because you shove this fake crap out there. Let's just get it right. Right? Because if there wasn't all this fake crap out there, it would just be organic. And there wouldn't even be a separation. You wouldn't even know the difference. You wouldn't even shop for the word. You'd just go shopping and it would be safe. But we live in an unsafe environment where politicians and government approve things from demons like Bill Gates that have officially entered the food market with their nasty ass fake food, their appeal, all right, which is the fake fruit and all that he's growing on his farms across the country. Fake meat that they're putting out there. You know, they had a tactic. They went out and they bought up all this farmland, not to let cows graze on it, but to do the opposite. If they controlled it and they had it, then farmers couldn't have cows. You see? And if farmers couldn't have cows, then you can't have that meat. You can't get that meat. You, in turn, when the meat dries up, have to buy their fake meat. And that, you know, people's just not doing that. Bill Gates has a lot of concoctions and a lot of things, but they think, well, if we starve them, with a drought, I don't know, like they're setting up right now, the worst harvest they're expecting ever in like decades, like record this and that, everything. I don't know. Starve them out. They'll have to, the only thing on the shelves will be appeal and fake meat. Do you see what they're doing? Right in front of your face? It's happening. And old Chumpy ain't coming to the rescue. As I said many times, he didn't arrest Bill Gates. He had a big meeting with him at Mar-a-Lago, and it was how to make money on mRNA. And you can only do that one way if there's a pandemic. Costco has a warning. And I don't have a link. I just want to throw this out here on top of this real quick. If you're out there buying any kind of bags of like fertilizer or like mulch or anything like that, when you rip it open, look at it real good because these hammerhead worms are getting in there and it just takes one to destroy your whole garden. And I can't believe it's happening in mass. It's almost like a setup. People are just ripping open bags and there's these nasty ass like hammerhead, whatever, worms. And they're bad news. There shouldn't be anything in your freaking bag. All right. That goes back to the company. It means they bagged it that way. It didn't just magically get through the bag, you get through the plastic and into it. No, it was bagged that way. And these companies should be paying big time for it. If you find that, I take it right back to the store, demand a refund, and I'd go off. All right. So Costco is putting California on high alert because they're saying a dangerous invasive species has been found in plants sold at, at their Costco stores. I mean, it's always something. So here we go. California agricultural officials scrambling to contain a potentially devastating invasive insect outbreak after this pest was discovered on plants across Northern California at Costco stores. Authorities in multiple counties issued urgent consumer alerts this week after the glassy winged sharpshooter, an invasive insect capable of spreading a deadly grapevine disease, was found on grapevines and citrus plants shipped to Costco's from a Fresno County nursery. So, boy oh boy. Officials warn the insects pose an immediate threat to California's multi-billion-dollar wine industry, along with damage to citrus orchards, backyard gardens, and any other crop you can think of. So heads up, if you got something growing out there, this is something you're going to have to watch for now. An invasive species introduced into the environment, and it can have devastating effects. So that's 2 insects I've just warned you about out there in these products. So it's the dirt or the back stuff, and also the plants themselves. You can't trust nothing at this point. You can't trust nothing, man. I did see an update Dr. Berg kicked out on the most toxic fruit or anything that you can buy, fruit and vegetable that you can buy at the store, no matter where you're buying it from, is always going to be a strawberry. Because a strawberry, it absorbs all that and holds it more than any other plant. That's why it's one thing that you should learn to grow on your own. And I did a few years back, you may recall, and I was putting out pictures, had this little strawberry patch out in front of on a porch, and man, that thing came up to my knees, and it was big, and it was awesome. It was awesome. I didn't think it was going to take off like that, but yeah, you got to watch it. You're always going to have insects and bugs, and you're always going to watch things, take care of things, stay on top of things, but use little home remedies that are safe, this and that, but out there spraying this stuff in fields, strawberries with like chemicals and sprayers and all this stuff like all day, just like all the rest of fruits and vegetables are getting. And then even though it gets washed, it gets sent to the food aisle and you're buying it and you're not thinking twice about it. You think it's clean because it has to be clean. Well, you better think twice about that. You trust these government agencies at this point? You trust the amounts they put on stuff? You trust anything they do? These people that locked you down, try to jab you and all this other stuff, like, you trust that? Like, I'll trust nothing they say. It's a mafia as far as I'm concerned. A corrupt one at that. Here's Scott Bessent confirming they are prepared to print a brand new currency. Before currency goes away forever, and they're going to do it because Trump wants it. Mr. Ego wants it. So they're going to print a $250 bill with Trump's face on it, saying that the hundreds aren't good enough for all these people spending all this money and that they need a $250. And they're going to roll it out because it matches, $250 this year, America's $250 celebration. And they're going to put, of course, Trump on it. So he's going to get put on the currency. This is what they're talking about. It's nuts here. I'm going to play a couple clips of people bringing this up in the news conference. And a lot of stuff, staged questions, but it pertains to real stuff here. So here's this one.
How long until we see your signature next to President Trump's face on a $250 bill?
Well, again, as Treasury Secretary, I have 2 mandates for U.S. currency. At present, no living person can be on U.S. currency, and the currency must say, "In God we trust." So right now there is proposed legislation in front of the House, in front of the Senate, to change the first requirement so that a living person, Donald J. Trump, could be on a $250 bill. So it's all in the hands of the, it's all up on Capitol Hill. So at Treasury, we prepare things in advance. So we have prepared in advance that if the legislation is passed, but we will stick to the law.
And I got another one right here. That just shows he just says they got something ready to go in advance, but they're going to stick to the law.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. On the $250 bill, Mr. Secretary, you said the legalities of it are up on Capitol Hill, but I just wonder what your opinion is personally. Do you think it's a good idea for the president to put his face on America?
Again, the president doesn't do it. The House and the Senate have to do it.
So even though it's an ego thing on Trump's behalf, they're all for it. And look, they're about to change the whole law and everything. So get ready. Before they do away with cash currency, they're going to make sure that the last one has his face on it. It will no doubt be the last currency ever made and printed. He can always make, they've always said it before, he could make $1 trillion coin and they could just pay off the debt with the $1 trillion coin. They've said this. They floated the idea of doing it. Can you believe that? Just print off this object and to say that it's worth, a quintillion or 20 trillion or whatever, and then it pays off the debt. Like, they've said this. It's like, man, this whole thing is a scam. Ran by pedos and everything else. It's pretty freaking messed up. And they're going to put him on the bill. The mafia is. I wonder if it'll look like that. I wonder what he said they've already got a template. They've already got one. So if they approve this, they will start printing it and it will go out. Besant's signature will be on it, just as dude just said. And you will see this go into circulation. And I think they're going to do it right now. It's for 250 America. It even says anniversary right there. Of course, you're going to do it now. This is about to happen. It's crazy, man. So, Bank of Canada warns the markets are more vulnerable and that they could have a very sharp correction due to an AI concentration. This whole AI thing is pretty wild. Now, 1 in 3 American men are no longer looking for work. These numbers are staggering. It's crazy. It says 66% of men aged 20 and older were employed or actively seeking as of April. That is nuts. That's dropped from 73% back in 2006. It's just fell off, as you can see here on the graph. And it did a plunge when everything locked down, but then it had a dead, I call this is what's called a dead cat bounce. When you've got a sharp drop off, but then you've got a bounce up off that, but then it peels over and it starts to fall again and go into even more negative territory and set even more record lows. And that's what they're talking about. It's not looking good. It's rather pathetic. Just to be able to go out there and have a job, sometimes people got to be thankful. But when you got a government out here giving handouts to everyone, it doesn't help anything. And they ultimately want everyone on a universal basic income. That's their answer for all this. Elon's done said it. When all this gets out there and people get their jobs wiped out, it's over. And this has been a scam the entire time. They've tried hard to keep the people not aware of what's going on. Okay. And it says it right here in this one. It says this whole time they've tried to keep people thinking AI is not really taking your jobs and this and that. Well, it is. What's this say? 99% of CEOs are planning job cuts, and the gap between rich and poor is going to explode. 99% of corporations are planning AI infusions within 2 years. It's every single business pretty much out there. 99%. That's an insane number. It says if your job does not require much thinking or creativity, your job is potentially in danger. Especially if it's not like a manual job. Like the best jobs that there's going to be out there, like handyman jobs or something like that, hands on, that a robot AI is not going to be able to easily fulfill right now at this moment. They say that's going to be decades out. It may only be a decade out, but in the meantime, they're going to need someone to come and, fix the gutter on the roof and to fix the plumbing, run some electric, install a window, do things like that. Someone that has a service doing that is probably going to excel more than others. That's what I'm going to tell you. Everything else can be ran by AI to an extent. And there's going to be a point here where, like, they're going to run, you're going to go into a restaurant and then the waitress that rolls up is going to be a robot. And I can already see the nightmare happening there. With the orders getting screwed up and this and that, all that. Like, no. Like, you see, people are going to reject that in certain climates. People are just not going to like it. And they're not going to like it so much that, like, that robot can just go collect dust in the back, send me out a human server. You understand? And it's just that simple. It's just that simple. How many of you love to call somewhere and get the AI immediately, and it's not a human? You got to sit there and jump through hoops to get a human on the phone for 20 freaking minutes sometimes just to speak to a human, when AI can't even make out half the things you're saying. It's not right. I hate it. I dislike it 1,000,000%. Like, some of these jobs should be there for humans, period. And it should be a human that can speak English, not someone from another country that I can't even understand anything that they're saying. Because that doesn't help neither. Like, what? Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but, like, I can't understand a word you're saying. Like, give me an American. I mean, dang it. Talk about jobs. And, like, it's just pathetic. Like, I myself I've noticed this. I've just noticed it. I've tried to, I don't know what to call it. I've tried to find some people and employ for certain different jobs and projects, not just for me, but for other people. And it's like not to be found. Like, it's like, where's everybody? Is everybody just sitting at home, sitting on their ass, living off the government? Like, what is going on? Like, but I see these guys and they're out everywhere, like, oh, we need jobs. And it's just like, okay, well, people have been out here offering work, but, like, I don't know how they're getting too picky or whatever. This isn't a time to be picky. When AI is wiping out jobs, you're going to have to realize what's left and what's to be had. Or people's dumbasses are going to be sitting there waiting forever for a job that ain't never going to come back. Dude, it's a nightmare. What's going on? We're being replaced in real time, and people just can't seem to wrap their head around it because, I don't know, the government's not coming out and bullhorning it. You're going to have to be someone with an open mind and open eyes right now and see what's happening. You have to care. If you got a kid going into college or anything like this, do you want them racking up debt for a degree? It's going to be pointless. I mean, you need to be thinking like where this world's going to be in 4 years' time from right now. It's not going to be good. And if they're going into a job sector, anything that AI is going to take over, you better think twice. I showed on the last on the last stream a graphic, and it showed like the top 10 highest paying jobs. It was like top 20, but the top 10 were all medical, from like cardiologist, this kind of surgeon, that kind of surgeon, like radiologist, x-ray technician, like all those types of jobs were like the highest paying and projected to continue to be, even above like airline pilots and everything else. Do you not see up there anywhere? You don't see things like you used to. You don't see things like architects. That used to be huge, high paying job. You don't see or what's getting cut the most, like a JP Morgan Chase, white collar jobs. They're calling it right now the white collar purge. Yeah, because white collar, all these high level jobs that you need in like finance and all the stuff, they don't need them no more. JP Morgan said it flat out. Jamie Dimon said it flat out. He said it. He goes, it's going to happen. It's happening here. It's going to happen everywhere. And like this article is saying that the gig is up. The gig is up. It goes over all these, Meta, PayPal, and it says how, in general, those over the age of 45 are doing okay. But anyone under that right now, it's like game over. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. They don't see no future. They don't have no opportunity. There's a reason why Americans have never felt as bad about the U.S. economy as they do right now. Mass layoffs again being conducted all over the country, and AI swooping in on the back end. So these, like I said, to me right now, it's not a time to be picky. If you can land something job wise, you should be thankful. Like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, right now, gas prices, I don't even need to say, you guys know. I was shocked when I went out to the pump. And I was shocked when I needed to get something delivered here recently. And I was like, oh no, I can't do that. And I had to sit down. I had to do all these numbers, all this crunching, and I'm like, dude, like what is going on here? Like, why is it like literally double? And it was because, look back to the last time I got delivery from the service, and the gas price literally doubled. And I was like, oh my gosh. It was like the first time the shock value hit me, because it has to do with gas, the delivery, you know what I'm saying? It was nuts. I was like, dude, what is going on? Like, but that was a legitimate quote. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it was crazy. So they say, if the crisis in the Middle East is not resolved soon, things are going to get a lot worse. And I'm going to tell you that I don't put a lot of faith into, and Colleen, thank you for the super chat. I don't put a lot of faith into this talk tonight. This article ends by talking that a lot of people that they know right now are going through a phase that they're selling their prized possessions just so they can make it through another month. And see, what do you do the following month? It's done. There's like, if there's no end in sight, like at that point, really, you've got to like, I don't know. People got choices to make here. It's not looking good. It says, for a long time, our leaders tried to hide what was happening, but now the truth is becoming apparent to everyone. Wow. The real part of the economy not doing well. Ed Dow warns, just wait till the AI bubble bursts. Oh my. That's his warning here and talking about this whole AI thing. Now check this out. This goes with a big story I dropped last video here on this channel. And it's a big warning. It's a pretty important one right here. You have a leak that comes out, and this was posted on Wired. They say the report reveals the Trump administration is quietly targeting anti-tech extremists. This is anyone that has a belief that AI is bad. Can you believe that? Trump will call you whatever. This dude doesn't care. He turned on his own base and everything. He will call you any name. If you don't do what he says, he'll label you a bad guy. And you know how he does? Like, do you want that done to you? It's time people stand up. Like, the tables are turning. Like, Mac is destroyed. And like, the people need to rise against the beast. Period. When they try to sit there and say you don't have a freedom of speech, you don't have a freedom to not like something or to say no to something, that is garbage. That's tyrannical as it gets. Okay, so it says they are targeting anti-tech extremists and Americans protesting data centers as domestic terrorists. Can you believe this? You believe this? Anybody that's got anything to say, any of these people from a neighborhood or from a town that are getting up or going out, everyday people going out to say no to a data center, Trump is labeling them a domestic terrorist. Can you believe this? Wake up, America. You're done. Just by gathering to defend yourself, to defend your being, your way of being, your property, your families, your friends, everything. Just for standing up, you're an extremist. What are you going to do? Cower and go sit back down? I don't think so. Granny's already up out of her chair holding a no data center sign. It's time dudes grow some. Let them hang. There's time to draw a line in the sand. You should have done it back on the pedos. But now we're at the AIs, but people are waking up more now. So you gotta take advantage of that tidal wave, that flow, man. You have to. So what are they going to try to scare everybody back and off? Remember what I said the other night? George Soros just jumped in the game. He's funding the chaos. He's funding protests to go create hell at AI centers. You know what that's going to do? It's going to cause Trump to clamp down even harder. And it's all going to be staged like they always do. And when the real people get up to protest, like they're doing right here in this picture, it's with a sign and simply says no data center, he's already done it. He's already saying it right here. You are a domestic terrorist. You are an anti-tech extremist. And look what it goes on to say here. Your Kash Patel, FBI, warns that paranoid views regarding AI and attempts to reason the belief that a godlike incarnation of AI is imminent are viewed as anti-tech extremism and neo-Luddites. What the is that? Neo-Luddites? Is a Luddite. Just making up names now, calling you whatever, like this is generic, and I'm sick of it. Trash Patel. All of them. Demons is what they are. You know that mountain back in the ancient Arabian, you know how you say it? It's AI. 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 And I told you earlier, the moon is sin. It's the name of it. It's sin. And that whole spot was named from moon and moon worship. Sin and AI, the mountain, Sinai, Sinai. It what it represents. And it goes right back to Moses. Or not Moses, was it Moses? Yeah, Moses. Moses, directly connected to moon worship. That's why he's always depicted in the images. If you've ever seen and wondered why, you've looked at the image and you've seen Moses that has horns, there's a reason. Not that they're showing that he's a devil, so to speak, but yeah, man. Like, thank you for that information there. I'll looks like a bunch. I'll have to get to it after when the show's done. I do appreciate that. Look, man, this is like a red alert. You should be telling that anyone and everyone. Everyone across America should be hearing this. Like millions of people, but they're not. Only the remnant, again, you guys, are getting the message. This is what's happening. Because people are rising up. They don't like the flock cameras. They don't like the data centers. They don't like none of it. They see what's happening. And Trump's pushing it. A police state. 100% police state. Yeah, that's right. So, it's such a bad police state that the man helping to build it through Palantir has fled. As you can see in the title, Peter Thiel fleeing the U.S. He hasn't officially left. He packed all of his businesses up, and sold all of his houses. He's not done that. I mean, is there a reason to? 100%. Maybe he does start to sell houses. It's that, but you got to watch the most basic moves. When someone runs somewhere and you have family, you have kids, and all that. You watch the move a person makes. If he's just going on vacation out to the yacht, it's one thing. I mean, this is a billionaire, for crying out loud. He runs down to his buddy Javier Milei in Argentina, and he snatches up this massive spot. Okay, so that's one thing, right? All right, he can do that, right? But here's the kicker, the biggest thing. He has taken his whole family and he has enrolled his children in school. And it says straight up, citing concerns over America's long-term direction. Dude, what in the heck? You just personally made billions through the government and your Palantir tech, setting this place up, America, into a police state, and he don't even want to be here. He's gone, bouncing, see ya. And took his kids and whole family down to Argentina, bought a huge compound down there, enrolled them in school, and it's like, well, you watch. If he starts selling properties, it's done. He'll probably do it slowly and silently, quietly. He's made his move. You can't tell me any different. This is an ominous sign, like something bad is about to happen here. Really bad is about to happen here. Like, really, the lights are about to go out or something. Like, something really bad. You got Warren Buffett and all their cats sitting on the side, record amount of cash sitting on the sideline. You got this dude bailing, literally, from America. The dude that helped set the freaking police state up, he's running from it. There's nothing more ominous ever. And the way this dude talks about Antichrist, this and that, like, this dude he's something else, man. But he helped put it all into place. Just like with Elon Musk. Because you wonder why Elon's the world's richest man. It's because the end game for them is transhumanism. It's the merger of man and machine. That's their ultimate dystopic vision. As your Bible warned, mixing iron with clay. And they also bad want to do it. And I read an article earlier and it made 1,000,000% sense. Why are they pushing the whole agenda out there, trans agenda, so heavy all these years, and then the whole thing with the whole operations for them on kids and all this other stuff. Why are they pushing that ideology so hard? And it's because it leads to the ultimate trans. You go from one level of trans to the other, and it's like, and you can see that when you get a human to get into the mindset of where you see what I'm saying? It doesn't see itself for what it is anymore. It's easier for you to control it, for it to go along with the whole program, so to speak. And that's what the whole end game is it's transhumanism. And that's where Elon comes in, plugging a Neuralink into your brain. And don't get me wrong, it will help people that's never seen before to see, probably, and do some miraculous stuff and help people that have injuries. I get all that, and all that's cool and fine and dandy. But for everyday people to be going out there and just getting implants into them and merging into this machine, you bet you there's a ton already lined up to do it. Just like there's a ton out there that already got implants under their skin to pay for things at the store, like all over. It's already begun. So, I don't know. I see things like Peter Thiel running, and I'm like, yo, pay attention to these things. Okay, so, I don't think it's nothing. Let's come back to the United States here. Let's go down to Florida, where the Florida governor here calls for a special session to eliminate property tax for homeowners. So he's calling everybody in for the session, and he's going to exempt homeowners from paying property tax on their permanent residence, wherever they permanently live. And he goes on to say that taxing something that you own repeatedly, which is the property tax, is the worst way to do taxation. And I gave him a salute, 1,000% here. He said this on a May 27th news conference. He hopes to eliminate the taxes from Florida homesteads, and he thinks that both sides will be involved with this and can push it through. He says, you pay all the taxes to acquire that property, and then year after year, you're just having to write a check just for the privilege of being able to maintain ownership of something that is supposedly yours. And we all can make the argument, and we can feel that pain, 1,000%. Okay, so he's actually doing something about it, which I will salute. He wants to make local government use of property taxes only for core public needs such as public safety, education, infrastructure, and natural resources. So the caveats to this are that, the property tax revenue collected right now in the Sunshine State has doubled in 7 years, from 32 billion to 60 billion, but they're going to have to set up a reserve, he says, where money will go into that reserve to help fund these other things. Here is one of the kickers. It's not like you're just going to be able to move there and immediately take advantage of this. He says that the proposal would require new Florida residents to maintain residency up to 5 years, and then they could receive the exemption. And I could see that, there's always some kind of strings attached. But, they're making sure that people don't, I don't know what they're doing there. They're putting a buffer on it for sure. He leaves office January 5th, 2027. But this is something a lot of people are saying they feel it's going to get pushed through. And it's one way to combat the housing crisis and everything else that's going on, because they got the situation with houses is not good in America. But in Florida, it's really not good. The market, they're trying to do something for it. And I believe that this would help. Right now, it's a wild market out there in a lot of ways. Okay, so that was a positive one. This is a wild one, and it shows the injustice out there. This woman is pulled over, and she's an amputee. She only has one arm. And the cop says that he caught her driving, looking at her cell phone, reading it. And she's like, there's no way. Like, there's no way. My hand is always on the wheel. And she puts up her other arm and she doesn't have a hand. And I'm just going to run the club.
Hey, good morning. I'm Deputy Gasala with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. This is why you're being pulled over. The city of Lake Worth today, we're doing an operation for distracted driving, and you drove past me holding the phone with your right hand, manipulating that phone. I mean, I saw you with the phone in your hand.
Not. So you want to just call this a day?
He just said right hand.
You just said my right hand.
Well, I thought I saw you with your right hand. You
so
had
you
that hand
didn't.
out. The right hand. I saw you manipulate.
So you didn't.
With the right hand, perhaps not, right? But I saw you.
You didn't see me with my right hand.
Okay, so are you
saying that you saw me with my right hand?
I know what I just said. I know what I just said. I'm asking you now. Did you or not have your phone on your hand?
I did not.
You did not have your phone in your hand?
I did not.
Hand to God, you didn't have your phone in your hand?
Hand to God.
The other hand to God, you didn't have your phone in your hand?
Hand to God.
Cool. You have your driver's license, registration,
yes,
and insurance with you?
I think this is the
prick.
All right, man. So you're gonna receive a citation for wireless communication device handheld while driving. We got to put the phone down as we operate a motor vehicle.
Oh, and you put on there that you saw me with my right hand holding it. Yeah?
I did not put that. No, if you want to take it to
court. But that's what you said when you pulled me over. Yes,
that's what I said.
That you saw me holding my device with my right hand.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Yes, that's what I said.
Okay.
Yes. So if you want to take it to court,
and that's what you saw.
So she has to now take it and fight it in court, which is. I'm sure that this whole body cam things have come up since it's out there. And I mean, dude, you just gotta know when you're smoked. I mean, cops are dirty out there. There's quotas, I see it all the time. There's one channel that just shows it constantly, and it shows them getting busted by people that were filming. Like one guy was filming, had a camera set up there in his car, and the cops told him to sit and shotgun for a second after they searched him, and they had the back door open, and the cop acted like he was walking away, and he came back real quick, and he threw a bag like of coke or something into the back seat. And the guy caught, he seen it, and he had it right there. And he's like, dude, what was that? And the cop was like, what do you mean? He goes, what is this? And the cop was like, yeah, we got drugs. And try the whole spiel. Dude's like, no, I just seen you throw it. And the cop didn't realize, dude, just caught him, filmed the whole thing, and smoked him. I mean, that's how crooked they are. You got to watch it, man. You got to really know there's a few good cops out there, man. But by and large, man, my interactions with police force in this country has been garbage all these years. Only guys I seen with any valor out there were the National Guard, the one that respected us as Americans, and it was just how it should be. The police, the complete other way, just like not good. So we got a man here in Texas charged with threatening to kill Erica Kirk. And he said he was going to bomb Turning Point USA's Women Leadership Summit. So this 26-year-old man from San Antonio, now in jail, Jacob Winsk, taken into custody on Thursday by San Antonio Police Department. He faces 2 third-degree felony charges of making a terroristic threat that causes public fear and serious bodily injury or public disruption. So they busted him, trying to do just what it says. And I don't know. I can only expect there's going to be crazier events, more and more wild stuff. Let's go to Oklahoma, where a homeowner is charged with manslaughter after he guns down a squatter who took over one of his houses. And this is very touchy type of stuff here when it comes to this, but I think what's going to end up getting the homeowner here ultimately is that it wasn't the home that he was residing in. It was just another home that was, in other words, sitting empty. And this guy was squatting in it. And he entered the home and he said that the squatter came at him. So he shot him. All that is being disputed right now because guy didn't have a weapon. And he was with another woman, and that woman witnessed it. And she's saying that the guy just shot him. And it's not good. Yeah, it's your home. You're definitely going to have to call law enforcement to deal with a situation like this. I mean, it's breaking and entering. I mean, where I'm at this point right now, like I've dealt with a lot of stuff where I'm at, but like if someone was on my property right now, and I called the state trooper that's owned it, he would come here and he would trespass any person that's standing on my property or caught on film footage or anything on my property, would trespass them right then. Do you understand me? Why that can't be done in other situations, especially if they've broken into your home and they just arrest the people right there, and like it should be, and take them out, like that's beyond me. I don't know why people let crazy laws or crazy stuff go down, but like I don't know where I'm at. Like cops ain't playing that game. I don't know, but this is Oklahoma, and that's the situation. This next one shows that the FBI arrests a CIA official that thought he was slick and going to get away with, well, $40 million in gold bars and $2 million in cash. And some could say, okay, well, he could have that. Well, they're saying that he got it in a messed up way. It's connected to a bunch of fraudulent stuff and stuff that he was doing, busted over the years. So they busted him doing this, but didn't know where all the money was going. And they have no proof in a bank account of, that this guy had, 40 million. Well, it's because he had it stashed. They finally went and they looked at his house and like, oh, there it all is. 40 million in stashed that he was like embezzling. So it was like they suspected him, already caught on to him of like doing the scam or scheme, but they didn't have any proof of like, where's all this money? If he's doing it, then there should be millions here in some account somewhere. And there was no account nowhere. They had millions. So the only way to explain it is if he's sitting there on like a ton of cash or gold, something like that. And he was sitting on everything I just explained. U.S. charges a Google employee with pocketing millions from insider trading with bets on Polymarket. You knew this was going to happen. There's others out there. There's a bunch of suspect accounts that seem to have insider information, no doubt. Some of them are flawless, have never had a loss. Some maybe just a loss or two. One went flawless and kept putting all of it in and got it up like 120 some million and lost it all. It's idiot. I mean, he does that. I mean, that's so much greed. But when you're someone that has access to some money to like continue this whole thing, and you've got an insider move, this is what we were saying about Barron Trump and why Barron Trump is truly highly suspected of this. But let me tell you something. His little settlement, Trump settlement that he just made with the IRS, just stopped any audits on any of his children and him or in any of their companies forever. You talk about a mafia, and this place is set up forever. So even if Barron does get caught up in this and get caught, he's protected already by that. And the reason they track it back to him is because there's only so many people that could have been privy to some of the information and made some of these moves. And even when you go asking, Grok and others about it, like the who could be the possible, when even that's saying Barron, dude's kind of smoked. But little golden spoon, not even silver, golden spoon Barron Trump, spoiled as it gets. And don't get me started on all this, man. Again, it's a mafia where everyone else is a slave. So we got a Hollywood actress coming out saying that she is just saying she's done with everything that's going on. And people are like, what do you mean? She had a hit role in the OC, and she's like, well, I'm done kind of by default because they won't give me any jobs in Hollywood. And they won't because it's discrimination. And they're saying that they repeatedly are rejecting her because of one reason. She's white. Boldly, and they don't care. And she said it's the same thing, the same influence that controls Hollywood. It has this whole time that controls everything, and you know what it is. It's done this. And she's like, dude, I don't have, anything against anyone in this world, in this life. But apparently someone has it out for me and my kind. And dude, it pisses me off because it's the truth. And she don't even have an opportunity in this field because of it. Because she's literally, it's racist. Any other day, anybody else, you'd have a lawsuit and they'd be like, blah, 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 blah. But it's ridiculous. It's not just there. We've seen it. I can tell just by looking at the government as a whole that they're scared of the white man. It's what's the one thing they always boogeyman? Huh? What's the one thing they always ticker tape in with an extremist? You're a neo-Nazi. You're a Nazi and you know it. And you know it. You're a white supremacist. Sounds like you're scared of it. You ask me. Sounds like you're scared of it. And you hate it. Why would that be? Did your crystal ball say that this is where the biggest threat comes from? Because we ain't down with your bullshit. Huh? I think that's what it is. In the meantime, they want to hate on us and act like we can't say nothing about it. Like, I'm sick of it. It's pure racism on us. And I'm sick of it. It's the truth is what it is. It's what we stand for around here. If it was going down for any other way, I speak on it. And here, it is what it is. So, you have it across the board in every sector, many different ways. But I see it goes deeper than that. It's not. We have a government that looks at us like cattle, like not even the race thing isn't even the main thing. At many points, they look at it as all as what they call goyim, the goy. It's the truth. It's the term they gave. All right, let's move on to Bondi. Bondi got moved out of her spot into an AI position. Crazy timing. Then they come out and said, oh, boom, she just got hit with cancer. Thyroid cancer. Now she's got a bandage on her neck. They're saying she's recovering. But she apparently went in behind closed doors to give another deposition on everything connected to the Epstein probe. And she's facing criticism. And she's
What's your message to the committee today? What's the most important thing you want to communicate?
no, she's just not saying nothing. She can speak. She's on other video clips speaking with the thing on her neck. So she's just keeping her mouth shut. This guy says a little bit about the whole situation here.
We continue to say that this should be recorded by video and released to the American public, and we're also asking that Chairman Comer immediately release the transcripts that right now are being done throughout today. I want to also say just a few other things. It is clear in just this part of the interview that she continues to push all of the investigation and the blame on acting AG Todd Blanche. She said, and I quote, "Acting AG Blanche was managing the entire investigation," end quote. And what you're going to hear in that interview, and what she's saying here in her words and remarks, is that it was Todd Blanche, the current acting AG, that was leading the Epstein investigation, and quite frankly, all of the mistakes that we saw, the redactions, not protecting survivors, she continues to push that back onto the acting AG, Todd Blanche, who, by the way, was Donald Trump's former personal lawyer.
There was all kinds of conspiracies running about her whole throat thing, because they were saying, well, she can't go in and she can write things down, but if she can't speak, then there's no oral confession of anything. It would just be written. And someone like, is this a show? Because she won't have to go in and give any oral confession? Because this just popped up too. She had to go in for this whole deposition. So, like, if she couldn't speak, you're saying she wouldn't speak in, like, I don't know. I don't see anything major coming out of that. Let's jump to America 250. I told you earlier, they're planning on making a $250 bill with Trump's image on it. Crazy. And you've got this big UFC thing going down at the White House. As I said before, I feel it's all ritualistically set up. But here is Al Sharpton, and this I'm gonna play this.
Because when we're dealing with this redistricting, Trump and others are trying to bring us back to an America that we struggle to get out of. So there is a connection of why they're having these fights on the White House lawn, the UFO and all the whatever they call it, UFC, and all that, because they're trying to go back to that when they'd watch people have these fights for the slave masters and they'd be entertained by that. They're literally going back to that. Let's not forget.
Look at these ICE raids
playing
out on America's streets.
Let's not forget one of the things that I think slips a lot of people. When Donald Trump first was elected in 2016, Mika, in 2017 when he went to Oval Office, one of the first things he did was hang a picture of President Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson was the slave-owning president who nominated Judge Roger Taney to the Supreme Court. Taney became the Chief Justice that saw the Dred Scott decision passed. Why didn't anybody ask Trump, Andrew Jackson? I don't even remember reading about him.
And all this is meant to do for the people that are watching this at home, MSN Now, is to sow more discord and hate between left and right. That's all that ever is meant to do right there. He won't mention a word. He should have just gone ahead and done it because it doesn't matter. He should have said something about how it's satanic in nature and the evil nature of it. But no, he plays the political aspect of it, of going back to slave masters and this and that. I don't buy all that with this. What I see is a ritualistic event, yes, with this Freedom 250 celebration. On the last stream, I showed you an image of it, the White House, what they have planned in the ellipse which is the big park, so to speak, across the street, across the way, um, from the White House. This is where 85,000 people are said to be packing into. 85,000 people packing into this little circle just seems ominously messed up to me. Now, add this in. I'm watching these key things. Remember the Rothschild magazine? It pointed at something happening in this window on 250. We're going to get attacked over and over again. Well, now, all of a sudden, all for political reasons and garbage again, a lot of these main characters that were supposed to be there, that were going to go, are not going to be there. Martina McBride, Young MC, CNC Music Factory, Milli Vanilli. that's hilarious. The Commodores, Morris Day and the Time, Brett Michaels. Those are the biggest names that have canceled. Other smaller have canceled as well. You only have left on there the big names, Vanilla Ice, which is a Trumper all day, and Flow Rider. Both of them obviously showing their major support for Trump. But hey, Brett Michaels had images with him shared on social media with him and Trump and him side by side back, but he's bailed. So it's like, why are they bailing? Like, for real? Because if some kind of crazy event goes down here, I don't know, kamikaze drones get flown in from somewhere, start blowing up all over the place or something crazy, they won't be there to get blown up. I don't trust the whole thing. I feel like something's going to happen. Tied to it, around it, connected to it, something. So, yeah, that's that. I'm sure they're going to have to try to replace these acts if that's the case. The closer you get to, I mean, we're less than a month away. It's coming up June 14th, I think. Oh man, it's just coming up here in just a couple of weeks. Time's flying. This year, my gosh, we're about to enter the 6th month of this year already. Like it's like halfway over. Like insane. Just time flying by. Let's jump into the war real quick. Beirut rocked by Israeli airstrikes. 14 dead. Not a surprise, but Israel killing everyone. So Trump rushes into the Situation Room, as they said today. It says that Iran is facing a nuclear reckoning. Well, I've updated and I've waited. They made it sound like this deal was going to happen again and again and again. And they did it again today. Did not happen. But this is what Trump said. He announced that the amazing and unprecedented naval blockade imposed on Iran was now being lifted. And he told the stranded crews that they could start heading home to their families. Say hello to your wives, husbands, parents, and families for me, your favorite President Trump wrote. Oil futures nosedive. Brent crude fell to 92 a barrel. Trump said that underwater minesweepers had already destroyed numerous water mines in the area, and he demanded Iran remove any others. And he said the nuclear dust buried beneath the mountains in the U.S. or in the mountains would be removed and destroyed by U.S. troops in coordination with the regime. Like what? He is saying all these things. Iran, I've yet to see anything. Every time they do this, Iran has come out and said he's a lying piece of crap. Every single time, like he's a flat out liar. about all this. And I told you, Trump has got to do one of two things. He's got to save face, tuck tail, and get out, or he's going to turn this into Iraq, 2.0, so to speak. No one wants to see that. And this is him. He's tucking tail. He just said the Armada's folded. He just said, tell your families I said hello. He's sending the troops home. It's over. Like, there's no bigger statement than that. Okay, but is it over? Like, do you think that they're going to give up their nuke stuff? I don't think so. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. So, like, something is off about all this. Both sides agree Iran deal close, but not finalized. Trump promises final determination soon. Let me get an update. No, nothing. He was in the Situation Room for about 2 hours, but the president did not reach a decision on any new deal with Iran. I told you. On to the next day's headlines. That's what it'll be, as it always is. And tomorrow, they could be bombing them. I tell you what, if one of our ships get hit on the way out, it's going to reverse all this. And it could be even staged. All planned. Then, oops. Sorry, guys. Not going home. Got to defend yourself. Got to defend. And everything's prime. Look at this new legislation. This is nuts. Our government voted today to push through an amendment that merges the U.S. and Israeli militaries into one unit. Today, and here, right here, is the chairman's NDAA PDF, and you can even read when you get down here for yourself. Matters pertaining to Israel, the extension of war reserve authority, and that the United States - Israel subterranean cooperation. People are like, what, subterranean? Okay. And then it says the United States and Israel cooperation to counter unmanned systems in all warfighting domains. All. You want to know what I've seen tonight? One of the most pathetic, embarrassing things I've ever seen done. But this piece of crap, Trump, he basically showed the whole world that he's controlled. Well, messed that up. Let me open up right here. I'm going to show you this post. Show you this post. It's sickening to me. Because BB is a war criminal. Wanted. International criminal arrest warrant out for him right now. He is the soul collector. He kills more people than anyone that you know on the planet on a daily basis. Him. On his orders. Okay? And Trump. And I guess our military. I mean, this is how it's set up. Like, you can see it. It's not hidden. It's not a secret anymore. He gives him a key to the White House. Symbolically, this is ass kissing on a level you've never seen before. I mean, you see him tucking the chair in underneath of him, but this is it just shows the pandering is insane.
Love that. This was a special token of affection given by myself and the First Lady to Prime Minister and the First Lady of Israel, and it's a key. We call it a key to the White House, and it's a key to our country and to our hearts. And you've been an amazing leader for a long period of time, and this is, in many respects, the big day, because this is something that's very special. And we just left UAE and Bahrain. We're going to meet outside in a ceremony, and it's just a very important event, and it's an honor to have you with us, baby. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I have said, and this is true, that you have the key to the hearts of the people of Israel because of all the great things you've done for the Jewish state and the Jewish people. So thank you.
Garbage. Insane. But you got to see it. Like, so that's what's going on, man. We're on the wrong side of all this. Chris, you know it. Lady Babylon, belly of the beast is where we're from here in America. They're talking about a new NATO forming, but where this is going to go, I don't know. You know, one moment they act like it could be peace, and then it's back to war. You know, Iran, one thing. Look at Lebanon, all these other war fronts with Israel. Look at Ukraine. Okay, the back and forth. They said they were so close to having this whole peace thing, but then no, back and forth. Well, now you've got Russia rolling out hypersonics, and like at any time, I expect Kiev to get wiped out, or for them to hit Zelensky. It's like they're just waiting to see any movement for anything inside of Kiev, and they're going to hit it. So Zelensky can't even hit the streets in his own main capital right now. That's where we're at with this. So it's really bad. It's like down to the wire. And Russia is warning the United States against sending any troops near its borders anywhere. NATO warns of a hybrid war targeting Europe's energy grid. So they're flat out saying that an open option, large scale, right now, for Russia is to target Europe's energy grid. They could false flag it. Something, and give them an excuse to nuke Russia or something. D. White, I just covered that. I just seen where to scroll up. I just seen where it says at Dabu 7 that you see they're trying to integrate Israel military with our military. Yeah, that's what I just showed. I showed the PDF, just went through all 3 articles, just talked about it, man. Literally just covered it. But much love, my brother. So yeah, if the energy grid gets hit, they're kind of throwing it out there again. And they're saying that China is preparing its nuclear missiles to be able to hit us. And that they just backed off a Dutch frigate from their waters, and they did so using electronic warfare. Open electronic warfare on the sea is what China just rolled out and ran off other warships. They had to fire on them with bullets, hit them with the frequency, and turned them back. Things are changing. Texas authorities arrested 6 Chinese special interest aliens in camouflage down by the border, trying to escape into this property. At first, some people said this was a fake story. It was real, 100% real. They provided photos of them sitting on the ground. You could see over on X. These are what they describe as being special interest aliens. What were they up to? Oh, special interest aliens. You remember that. Remember the term. As soon as I get here in a second to the disclosure deception part to close this, you're going to see what the White House has done. And it's even more deception. They're trying to mix the aliens with aliens. Illegal aliens with aliens from space. Thinking they're cute. And they're not. And it's ridiculous, you ask me. But check this one out. The U.S. is going to power their military base with a nuclear aircraft carrier that sits floating out off in the water. This is their new solution. Imagine if the thing gets hit. Of all things. No, you're good, bro. Hey, no, bro. You're all good. Much love. But just imagine if the aircraft carrier gets hit. Now look at this. Miniature floating nuclear plants could supply clean power to the Greek islands. This is a whole different article, whole different type of thing, but kind of the same thing. Floating nuclear plants out in the water. What could go wrong here? Okay, what's the next one say? It says U.S. nuclear recycling plant. Hold up. What? A nuclear recycling plant? Where the hell is this going in at? Knock, knock. Who's there? Illinois. You got a problem coming to town. Illinois. You have this nuclear recycling plant that extracts 100 times more energy from fuel. It's good in that aspect, but man, it's coming to your backyard and you got all these little things going on, data centers, and little nuke things going into the ground, and now this, it's like, man. In the meantime, Rocket Man, Kim Jong-un, has achieved its first AI-guided missile test overseen by Kim. So they're launching their missiles now, and they're letting AI this quickly take control of it. That right there, like, they're so concerned about Iran and nukes and all this. These guys got missiles and all this crap over here and nukes and all this, and like, you just don't care. Like, they're actually popping off missiles. Iran does not, it's not like behaving like Kim Jong-un does. They just never have. Two different animals, I guess, but he's been brazen. He shoots missiles over the Allies' heads all the time, like Japan's head, South Korea's head. He flexes all the time. I just get crazy. And check this out. You've heard of the rumors that Fidel Castro is the father of Justin Trudeau. And you've wondered, oh, it's conspiracy. Is it true? Well, we know it's true. He looks just like him. And this woman, which is technically his sister, this is Fidel Castro's daughter. She's asked, like, is he your brother? And like, she doesn't deny it. She says, well, it's to say that his mom made a lot of trips down here to Cuba. And it's like, it's saying it, yeah, without officially saying it.
For years, we've heard rumors that Justin Trudeau, the former Prime Minister of Canada, could be your half-brother. What do you think of that?
The only thing I can say is that his mother used to visit the country very often.
Well, that may be a tell then. I guess that's a half answer.
Yeah.
Do you plan to call him and maybe find out?
No. I won't do it. If he wants, he's going to be welcome, but I won't. I think
if he wants, he's going to be welcome. Look, dude, this just admitting it. Like, yeah. And the history is there. Everybody knows that his mom was down there with Fidel. It's real. It looks like him. It's not like it's an off-the-wall thing. Like, she was there, like, with him. And it's a real deal. It's a real deal thing, so to speak. So, this brings me to aliens.gov. The White House trolling America with this. It's ridiculous because if you have a site truly dedicated to aliens in space, you should have nothing about illegal aliens posted on it. And you shouldn't be playing games, messing with people's emotions and everything. That's what they're doing. Okay? This is what they did. Okay, I put out a clip on this about some of the stuff. They got another one right here. If you did not see this, okay, and what they're showing, they're trying to show an illegal alien crossing the border, getting picked up by a UFO and getting dropped back off on the other side, putting it back on the other side. So They're trying to make some kind of joke out of it. Like, is that what the black sites told you to do? Warm everybody up with jokes? It's stupid. And the other ones were like, it's all like this. It's like mixing it, and people are like pissed off. Like, dude, it makes no sense. And see, you can get over to the website, and what's it say? They walk amongst us. For over 60 years, the U.S. government has kept a closely guarded secret. Aliens have been walking amongst us, living in our neighborhoods, interacting with us in our daily lives. Listen to me. This is the sickest way in the world ever to tell you the truth. This is bad. Look what they're doing. They can't even come out and flat out tell you it. They're doing it like this. At least for now. Trump still has a big speech. They say they shop the same stores, attend the same classes as our children, and all this, with one exception, they do not belong here. It keeps going on with this stupid theme, right? And then once you get all the way down here in the bottom, it says, but they weren't little green men. These aliens are the millions of illegals who invaded our country under the cover of darkness. Do you see? They're making a mockery out of it or something. Like, it's stupid. Like, whitehouse.gov/aliens. Like, people are pissed. They're like, man, it's ridiculous. But that's the Trump administration at this point. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you my take on this. In the end is they're telling you the truth. And it's how they always do it. And it's the only way they know how to do it is how they always do it, is to ticker tape it into something, hide it in something. What seems like sarcasm seems like a joke, or seems like something else. Normally you wouldn't be able to pull this off like this. But with the way they've done it, with illegal aliens, with the term alien being used in both, there's no other way around it. It's always been there, I guess, waiting for this pun. But why have they ever called illegals aliens? Well, I guess it has to do with the fact that they're not from here and shouldn't be here, and it stems back to that. But they could have used a different word. It never used alien to begin with. Like, alien should stand for something like, alien, like extraterrestrial, like not of this planet. Not mixed and construed in with something like this, because this is what you end up getting, a sick and twisted Trump administration whose responsibility, or who has it in their hand to drop disclosure, doing this. They're dropping this, and we're about to see Spielberg drop Disclosure, the movie. I seen the thing today and said reviews are saying it's the best movie he's ever made. What? Like, that's what they're all saying. Like, they want everyone to view this movie because they want them to absorb and take in what's embedded within it. There's going to be hints, clues, and things that they want ticker taped into the conscious of the masses to get them ready for the big revealing. Just as Crown Jewels made the song, the great revealing here, like, it's going to be deception. You have to remember, the deception, and there's only a couple ways to do it. And they always got to tell you the truth hidden within all this. And I think that's what they've done here. That's my final thought here on that here tonight. Yeah, man. So, yeah, I was going to try to keep this one here to 2 hours tonight, coming right up on the top. I normally can't do that. It always goes over, and I try to really aim for it to see if I can do it. And I did it. So here we are, top of the hour, and I want to thank everyone that has joined. We covered a lot here in the 2 hours. And as I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I look forward to seeing all you guys next time on the next show, Underground World News Live. It should be on Monday, unless something comes up. But, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is the plan here. And a lot happens over the weekend. So usually I'm always going live on a Monday to catch up on everything that's going down. But yeah, if you just got the back half, make sure to go and get caught up to speed with some of the other stuff that I covered there, especially what's going on with what, like D. White said, the merger of the U.S. and Israeli militaries, the whole thing about Peter Thiel and him going to Argentina, and all that good stuff. Thank you, Jay from the Ville. Thank all the mods, man. And yeah, this one's over easy for the night. I wish you guys well. Stay safe over the weekend, and take us out of here on that music from Live 1707 that was in here at the beginning of the stream. Again, much love to him and everybody out there. Much love. God bless. The legendary Eon. Thank you so much. Much love. God bless, brother.